Balbi Golf is pleased to be the only facility in the Bay Area to offer FocusBand and fluid motion factor training. Once in a while, two independently developed technologies come together in a powerful, synergistic partnership. FocusBand and fluid motion factor are two amazing technologies that support and enhance each other in powerful ways, as you're about to find out. Two of the powerhouse names in golf have endorsed these systems. Legendary instructor David Leadbetter, who has taught 18 major winners, and 2015 PGA champion Jason Day. Let's hear what they have to say about fluid motion factor and FocusBand.
Hello there, I'm David Leadbetter, and I'm very proud to be associated with Stephen Yellen, the founder of the Fluid Motion Factor program. You know, I've taught 18 major winners, and the thing all these players have in common, when they played their best golf, when they won majors, hey, their swings felt fluid. And that's the key. If you can get your students to get the swing feeling fluid, where they strike the ball solidly, that's what it's all about. What's better than striking a well-struck golf shot? Nothing. So the fact of the matter is, the Fluid Motion Factor program, it's not really a mental program per se, not in the traditional sense anyway. It's really the bridge, as I call it, between the mental and the physical. It's about hitting good golf shots, about getting your students to clear their mind and actually access all the information that you've given them to help them to play better. You know we've helped golfers improve their technique, but a lot of times a golfer will not really allow themselves to play their best golf. Now, the Fluid Motion Factor program allows them to do this. They can access, as Stephen likes to say, they access what they already own. The program is revolutionary, and we're really proud to have it at our headquarters at the Leadbetter Golf Academy at Champions Gate in Orlando in Florida. And I'll tell you, you really need to see the difference here. It's been amazing to me. I've watched Stephen teach everybody from juniors to tour players. And when they're able to get in this, shall we say, this fluid zone, as we like to call it, it is amazing how they hit the golf ball. It's effortless, it's easy, the ball comes off the club face like off a knife. It's incredible. And so I'm really excited about this program. I think it's a new wave of golf instruction. We know there's a lot of technique out there. We know there's a lot of mental approaches. But the Fluid Motion Factor, I'll tell you what, it really, I think it's a future of instruction. And if you can tie it into technique, so it's not a case of forgetting technique, it's a case of blending it. And you're going to see a huge difference. So I would advise you to really look at this program seriously, and it could make a huge difference in the people that you teach.
And now, let's hear from Jason Day.
I use FocusBand. I think you know about it. So, yeah, FocusBand is where you get into mushin, which is in Japanese terms the zone, and that's what we're all trying to strive for, especially as professional golfers. I think the golfers that kind of don't really reach that in their golf, they may reach it in something else, but for us that's kind of our zone that we'd like to be in.
How did you get in touch with FocusBand?
You know what? It was strange, really. I mean, I was looking for a mental coach, and you know, mental coaches, they're all the same. You know, it just seems like, okay, breathe and look around, look up, and keep your head up. And I was looking for some guys, and these guys are from Australia, which was great. So I started working with these guys. Really started improving a lot, just mentally, just being able to throw my awareness around.
Tell me, when you say throw your awareness around, I think a lot of people might not understand that.
Yeah.
How does that look when you're on 18 or something?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard because when you're, say for instance, you're shooting a gun, and when you're shooting a gun, you can look down the sight and you can look at your target. Whereas in golf, you're looking at the ball. You can't look at your target. You look up once or twice at your target, but when I'm looking down at my ball, I picture and throw my awareness. I picture where the target is. I picture what it looks like. And then when I do that, I just swing, and just all I think about is a target. It's kind of strange, you know, especially in like, it's kind of like in like, you know, you would say like cricket or even basketball or football. You know, sometimes you for some reason you just know, you sense something that's there. faster there, that's kind of the same feeling. So it's really something that I've been trying to work on and improve. It's something that I've just started just recently over the last couple of years. I've seen a lot of leaps and bounds early, but I'm just trying to strive just to get a little bit better and better.
Now let's hear from Craig, a mini-tour player who has used both systems and who's experienced amazing results in a very short time.
Well, I'm originally from England. Came out here, played college golf for 4 years. Had a decent career in college, won 3 times. Decided to stay out here and pursue a profession in golf, and I've been playing mini tour golf for 5 years. I met Stephen a year ago and hadn't really had any breakthroughs, kind of, barking up the wrong trees. I was a prisoner of swing thoughts and trying different swing thoughts every time I played. I met Stephen and he took me to the next level. I qualified for a Canadian Tour event shortly after going through the Fluid Motion Factor program, and I think it's revolutionary what he's got. I think.
Craig, what was your experience with the FocusBand?
My first experience was wow. I was wowed by it. I believe it's the track command of the Fluid Motion Factor. I thought that this was Stephen's FocusBand. I thought he had created it, and then when he told me that you created it, I thought maybe you knew about the Fluid Motion Factor. So I think they go hand in hand. I've used it for an hour and a half, and I feel like I need one. I can't practice without one now. It teaches me a feeling, the feeling of quietness and what I have to do for every shot. And I associate that with the feeling, and I get the green. So now I know what quiet feels like. And
when you were in the green, especially when you experienced the quiet eye, what was the result?
Well, I nearly had 2 hole-in-ones from 211 yards. I didn't miss a shot.
That it confirms, it gives an objective verification of what you learned in the Fluid Motion Factor program.
Yes.
Why is that important?
Very important because when I first learned the program, I knew I had to access a deeper level, but I didn't know exactly what the deep level was or felt like. Now having this, I can associate what am I doing behind the ball to get green on the FocusBand.
I tell you what, Graham, Craig is the 5th man that has been exposed to the program in the last 2 days, and the results are absolutely breathtaking. Mm-hmm. You are a genius. You've come up with something so simple, so easy, very affordable, and I really think together, don't you think together, Craig, we could really change.
If you want to know more about these amazing technologies that can kickstart your game into high gear, keep watching. Don't let your golf buddies get a jump on you. Start learning Fluid Motion Factor and FocusBand today. If you're not quite convinced and you'd like to learn more, we've got 2 more videos coming up that'll give you all the information you need to make the correct decision.
It helps you get back in the present moment. Whenever we start time traveling, getting into the future, or thinking about stuff in the past, it's not enjoyable. We've all been there. The big thing is to get you back in the present moment, start enjoying golf again. That's what FocusBand does. The FocusBand is a brain sensing headset and app. So this is the brain sensing headset, and this is the app running on any mobile device, so Apple or Android. So what we've worked out over the last almost 6 years with FocusBand is if we're able to train the process correctly, we're able to change the result. If we can change the result, we can change the belief. So it's a closed loop circuit. It's process, result, belief.
So we get this question a lot. How do I use FocusBand if I'm trying to get better at something? Is it better for me to work on that skill, or is it the correct mental state and then work on the skill? And that would be our preference, because what we found over the last 5 years working with athletes from all different levels, all different walks of life, is that when you're in the correct frequency, when your brain is allowing and you're not in the trying, then you'll learn so much faster than when you're attached to outcome. So I think it's the most important thing you can do is train yourself to get into a good mental state, eliminate the negative emotions that are attached with outcome, and I think you learn so much faster. So the most important thing really is process. If you spend your time working or thinking about outcome, it's really difficult to develop any kind of long-lasting process. So what we try to do is use FocusBand to help you create a process that works for you. And if you focus on that process becoming your goal, then the outcome follows.
A little more about FocusBand and how it can be a critical part of your game improvement program. Now let's hear from Stephen Yellen, the creator of Fluid Motion Factor.
In order to produce motion in the body, any motion, whether it's motion of walking across the street or motion of swinging a golf club, a signal about that motion enters the brain. Now there's two parts of the brain that we're going to talk about in regards to motion. One is called the prefrontal cortex, and we'll just label that as PFC, and the other is the motor system. Now, when you have that career drive, or that pure iron shot, or that career round when you're just striking the ball so solid, what's happening is that signal is going right to the motor system. And it's the motor system which communicates with the body to produce motion. The problem occurs when the prefrontal cortex intercepts the signal, and then it's delayed in moving to the motor system. And then in the middle of the motion, the body is looking for direction from the brain, from the mind. The direction is not forthcoming. So what happens is the bulkier core muscles take over, and that's when you get too quick at the top, or that's when you muscle the ball, or that's when you can't release the club and you hold on to it. So the whole key in producing motion, after you've practiced the motion successfully enough times, is to not have the prefrontal cortex intercept that signal. If you sat down with 100 great athletes and you asked them how they felt when they played their best, you can divide all of their responses into three themes, three categories. One, time slowed down. I had all the time in the world. It felt like everything was moving in slow motion. I had that club at the top of the swing and I felt like I can go to McDonald's, get a Big Mac, come back and still find the slot on the way down. You know that feeling. The second thing that they'll say is, I wasn't thinking. My intellect shut down. Don't ask me what I did. I don't know. I played out of my mind. I was mindless. Why do all athletes, regardless of level of play, describe the experience of being in the zone or playing well, and they say, I wasn't thinking at all? The third thing that world-class athletes will say when they're playing their best is, the motion was completely fluid and effortless. I didn't even feel the club swing. I didn't even feel the putter move. You're going to hear about that experience when we go through the drills. So in order to produce this fluid motion, you have to produce this fluidity in the mind. It's not a sports psychology thing. It's not Stephen's take on thing. It's not his philosophy. It's not his understanding. It's a neurophysiological scientific principle. When you generate a signal from the surface level of the mind, you can only activate the surface gross level of the mind. But, very fortunately, when you generate an intention from a quiet level of the mind, you have no choice but to fire the fast twitch muscles. So the key point in producing effortless, effective, repetitive, consistent motion, and the key point in this program that you're about to learn, is how to generate intentions from this level of the mind, not from this level of the mind. It's not what you're thinking, it's how you're thinking. It's from what level of the mind you're generating an intention. This is what took 35 years to figure out and come up with a series of drills that if you do the drill correctly, you will generate the intention.
I'm sure by now that you're excited by the new possibilities that are opening up for your golf game. Take a look at my 2015 holiday specials for some great introductory pricing on FocusBand and fluid motion factor training. If you haven't looked at the link in my holiday email, you can go to my website at balbigolf.com and click on the link for holiday specials.